Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's episode of Faith and Purpose Podcast. This is season 2, episode 7, and I have a very, very, very special guest today. Her name is Mopelola Kola-lawal. She's a multi-dimensional woman. She's a John Maxwell certified life coach and trainer, a 4-time author, transformational speaker, a real estate professional, and just recently, she just became an MBA candidate for the Robert H. Smith School of Business and also a Ford Fellow. She wears many hats. She's also a mom, with her real estate business. She's able to provide advisory and marketing services to people both home and abroad. It is such a pleasure to welcome you, Mope, to the show today. How are you?
I'm fine. Okay, thank you so much for having me. And wow, what an intro.
It's such an honor to finally get to sit down with you and just chat. Our topic for today is mentorship, and we'll dive into that in a bit. But just a brief intro so, the viewers and listeners get to know a little bit about you. Tell us about yourself, one fun fact that I may not have mentioned in it.
Okay, so you pretty much said it all. I mean, I'm a life coach. I'm a John Maxwell certified coach. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a writer. I write books. I love to write. I love coaching as well. I'm a mom of 2 beautiful, beautiful girls. I'm happily married. And fun fact, okay, I think that would be the fact that I work out for fun.
Nice.
I rarely forget faces. So if I've met you before, and I see you again, I'll definitely remember your face. So I really forget you. Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. Yes, the workout. I need to join that train and work out more diligently. I set a goal this year for 3 times a week. So far, so good. Sometimes it's a hit or miss. Sometimes I go over 3 days, but yeah. That's something that's definitely every mom needs to incorporate that in their goals. So that's amazing.
For me, it's just a way to just unwind and just let my head down. I just love to work out. I mean,
definitely. It's amazing. So we're going to go into a quick icebreaker activity, right? It's called This or That. And you tell us whether you prefer one thing or the other and why. So the first is tea or coffee. Do you prefer tea or coffee?
Oh, I love tea. I love green tea, ginger tea. Yeah, tea for me.
Same here. I have my green tea here ready, even as we're chatting. What about preferences? Do you prefer to wear your natural hair or extensions?
Oh, I love to wear wigs. Wigs. Lazy with hair. I don't like the salon, so I'll just throw on a wig. I mean, I love to wear wigs actually. Yeah.
Amazing.
When I'm not wearing my when I'm not wearing
my Awesome. What about preferences for work? Do you prefer to work from home or in the office?
Oh, I love to work from home. I mean, I just love to be in an environment where I'm like not like I'm in control, like I'm in control of my time, So when you're at work, you have to be at work all the time. But
exactly.
I like the flexibility working from home gives you, so you can work for 2 hours,
Exactly.
Play with your kids, go back to work, just do a lot in between. So I love working from home.
Amazing. Yeah, same here. I like that balance. It's not, I call it work-life fit, where you can fit the things that that matter to you, right? Like your kids, log them into school, log into work. When it's lunchtime, take a 30-minute break, make them lunch. That balance you get, or that work-life fit you get from working from home versus being in an office space and you don't even know what's happening and you come home, you're tired. So that's amazing. Okay, what about when you unwind and watch movies? Do you prefer comedy or romantic movies?
Romantic movies.
That's okay. I love romantic.
Yeah, comedy ones, not for movies. I don't really like to watch for comedy. I love to watch skits. Very short.
Nice. Yeah.
I like to watch
romantic. Exactly. Yeah, that's good because I feel like the short comedy skits as well. They're like a short, sweet. You're happy, and then you can. But when you want to watch a movie, you have your popcorn. The romantic movies. Awesome. And last question for you before we go into into, the Q&A session. Do you prefer calls or texts? I know some people that are like, don't call me, just text me and I'll respond back to you. And some people are more like, they want to have the conversation. And someone told me on the show that she prefers voice notes, right? Because she can tell from the tonation of the voice versus just a text. So are you like in the middle, or it's this or that?
I'm a text person, because I communicate better. I believe that I communicate better in writing. So for me, that just translates to even my phone conversations. And my husband is always like, why don't you just call the person? I'm like, I prefer to text. So I love to text. I love to chat. Yeah.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. Well, thank you. At least we got to know a little bit more about you during this icebreaker activity. Thank you so much. So we're going to go right into the meat of it. The purpose of today's session is really to just chat about mentorship. I know I've been a recipient of mentorship and how we can really help a person in their goals, in their career, and things like that. But a lot of young people, especially Gen Z and millennials, don't really see the full value, right, of mentorship and how we can help them. So wanted to just chat with you. I have some questions about what is mentorship? Is mentorship the same thing as apprenticeship or shadowing and all of that? So just go right into the first question. I'll go right into the first question. In simple terms, what does mentorship mean to you? How would you define mentorship?
Okay, thank you very much. I would define mentorship as this is just my own definition.
Yes,
not from
definitely.
From any dictionary. So I would define mentorship as a relationship that leverages the wisdom of a worthy example or an experienced person to achieve a similar goal, or to walk a similar path. So mentorship is pretty much like, okay, to know the road ahead, ask somebody coming back, somebody that has walked the same road that you are trying to walk. And there's a quote that I love so much, which comes to mind right now, that if you know where you're going, that your journey is short.
Wow.
If you know where you're going, your journey is short. If you have somebody show you how to get there, your journey is shorter. But if you have somebody holding you by the hand and guiding you, then your journey is shortest. So mentorship is that relationship that helps you to shorten the journey. What could have taken you many, many years to figure out, you just find somebody that has done it. And this cuts across so many aspects of life. This cuts across, spirituality, marriage, career. So you can have a mentor for different
things.
Depending on what you're trying to achieve per time. And I think that when it comes to mentorship, you said something that this generation, they don't really place premium
value.
I think mentorship is something that comes from a place of personal growth. As you begin to grow, place premium on yourself, you begin to see the value in mentorship. For somebody that is not into growth, that is not trying to that is just following the status quo, that is not trying to create something unique out of his or her life, they won't see the value of mentorship. And I'd like to use a practical example. Like, if you wanted to make a statement with your fashion, with your dress, for instance, for an event, you will most likely go to a designer to make something very epic for you. You won't just go online and just order and just pick something. So if you want to make a statement with your life, like you want to design an epic life, then you need to go an extra mile to get customized wisdom in that regard. So that's how it works. So, and for an epic life, you need to go the extra
customized wisdom.
If you just want to live a normal life, average life, you might not need a mentor. You just coast through and just find yourself somewhere, So
I love that quote. I'm going to take it and run with it. For an epic life, you need to design a customized one, right? To design an epic life, you need a customized mentor to help you in that journey. That's amazing. And so my next question, just to kind of define mentorship further, is mentorship same as apprenticeship or shadowing? You said someone walking through that road or someone holding your hand. So is it the same? Is it similar? Are there differences?
Okay, so I think for a shadowing or apprenticeship, it has to do more with it's more of a workplace. It's kind of restricted. So shadowing is like you're trying to an informal way to learn another person's role. So it has to be the role that you're trying to fill, or you want to walk in somebody's shoes for in a particular career for a day and see how it's been done. So it's pretty much streamlined to the workplace environment. But mentorship cuts across. So it's not just about a role, a particular role. It's more about the results that you're trying to get. You know, so you see a married woman who is at the top of her career, you know, she's doing well, and you're thinking, how is she able to juggle all of these roles and still have this kind of success that she has? You know, so I think mentorship, you know, it's shadowing and apprenticeship, like they're like subsets of mentorship. Is that overall, you know, that covers every aspect of, you know, one's life.
Amazing. Yeah, I agree with you. It is a subset, you know, and it's different in different sectors with different, like in the job, you shadow a manager and see how a day in the life of a manager, and that when you get into those shoes, you already know what to expect. That's amazing. That's amazing. So next question for you, what are some of the benefits of mentorship? You know, why is it important to seek out mentors and be mentored? I know you touched upon it, you know, depending on the kind of life you want to leave and the legacy, but can you dive into it a little bit deeper?
Yeah, sure. There are so many benefits of mentorship. And the first one that I would like to speak on is that mental permission that mentorship gives you to dream, to believe, to believe in your dream. You know, there are stages to this belief thing. There's a sense in which when you have not seen something before, and you're thinking about doing it, you're kind of in between, should I really go with this? Should I really follow my God's feeling and do this? But when you see that somebody has done it before, it gives mental permission that this is possible.
Wow.
So move from, oh, is this possible, to this is possible, and then this is possible for me. When you start the relationship with that mentor, that proximity, you're able to see how the person is able to maneuver and get things done. So it gives you mental permission to believe that your dream is possible. And that's so crucial, because the reason a lot of people don't step out is out of fear, out of, can I really do this? So people have potential, no doubt. People have, you know, big dreams and all of that. But the challenge is always fear, that, oh, is it possible for me? So mentorship gives you that mental permission.
Wow.
And the second one is that mentorship helps you to raise your standard. Raise your standard, because there is a sense in which you would you can become, because what you know currently is not all there is to know.
Exactly.
There's always more. But if you have nobody else to follow, I mean, you don't have any reference point, you get to a point and you feel, oh, I've arrived.
This is it. Exactly.
But when you have a mentor, I mean, you're able to see that, man, you're just starting.
Have to keep pushing. Exactly.
So
exactly.
It helps you to raise your standard. It helps you to look beyond, forget about your achievements and strive for more. So you push you beyond, you know, your limits and all of that. Mentorship also helps you to minimize risk. So you see somebody that has done something before, and the person is able to tell you, oh, this is not to say that it doesn't help you to eradicate risk totally.
Just minimize or mitigate.
Minimize your risk, because I mean, everybody's path is different. No matter how similar you feel, or your path is with somebody else, your journey will still be different eventually. A mentor, you can draw from their wisdom and avoid some mistakes. So you are able to minimize it. And I think that mentorship helps you to get out of your comfort zone. There are two major things that help people to push beyond their limits, and that's people and projects. So you have a huge project that is beyond, that you know that this project is beyond what you normally be able to handle, just like what we're discussing before.
Yes, definitely.
And then having somebody over you that is watching over you. So it helps you to push beyond, you know, your comfort zone. Because if you leave us as human beings, everybody, you know,
loves to be maintain status quo.
your brain, when you want to try something new, the brain is programmed to help you be safe. Like, don't try to do, just maintain the status quo. Your brain is trying to protect you from stepping out to the unknown.
Yes.
Mentorship helps you to, I mean, if you have a very good mentor, they push you, like, you can't settle here. This is not all
Exactly. You have to keep thinking. Yeah, moving forward.
You can't settle here. So it keeps pushing you. So it helps you to step out of your comfort zone, helps you to, also helps with exposure. There are some heights that you want to get to that you need, like, somebody to, bring you in.
Exactly.
So it helps with your exposure, because sometimes you cannot even dream about what you have not seen, what you don't know.
Exactly.
There are times that you cannot just want something because you don't even know they exist. So that proximity with a mentor helps you to see, another world.
Yes.
From your world from where you are coming from. It helps you to
exactly.
see, like, so I've not even started. Like, this is
exactly
so possible. That thing that you were feeling, I've not arrived.
Yeah.
So it helps also with exposure. And so I think, mentorship helps you with all of that and more.
Beautifully said.
One more thing is that mentorship helps you with to see your blind spots, because you cannot see the picture when you are in the frame.
Yes.
So
Wow.
when you have a mentor before you, like, looking at what you're doing, like helping you to measure, to evaluate. Self-evaluation is good, but when you have somebody that you respect also evaluate and sit down with you to say, okay, let's see how far you've come, because whatever you're not measuring or tracking, you can't really expand, you can't really, advance. So mentorship helps you to see your blind spots and helps you to maximize growth.
Beautifully spoken. You cannot see a picture when you're in the frame, talking about blind spots. I'll give you a personal story. I used to be
like when you finish dressing, you look at yourself like, I look good, but it's always better
somebody else.
Somebody else looks at you and says, you know what, there's something hanging here.
Exactly.
So I know coaching helps with that as well, but a mentor could also be a coach. So,
correct.
That also helps.
Amazing. Just thinking about my journey this past year and my goals for, the next 3 to 5 years. I remember, interestingly, I used to be very, very scared of public speaking and being in those uncomfortable situations, as you said, and then I just had to talk to my mentor. And another thing I think we need to talk about mentorship is having that safe space to be yourself. You talked about blind spot, have someone guide you through those blind spots so that you can self-develop and improve. And I said, I'm always so nervous whenever I go into those situations. Like, I'm shaking that everything I know, it just goes away because I'm so, tense. And she said, just take notes. Like, if you have your notes prepped the day before, your speaking points, your speaking notes, it just gives you like a backup, so even if you're drawing a blank because you're nervous, you just have your speaking notes. And that's something as simple as that helped me a lot with facilitating meetings and going to those uncomfortable situations. So I totally agree about that point, where mentors help us identify our blind spots and push us to think about more. So we talked about the why, why it's important. Now let's talk about the how. How can people seek out mentors or mentorship experiences? I know there are different mentoring programs that you can be a part of, different organizations. I know there are companies that bring people in even through mentorship programs. I believe the World Bank, they have like young mentoring programs that they bring people in. But how can people be intentional, especially younger people, about seeking out mentors? And I'm going to tie it to another question because of the time. I know we live in a generation where everyone wants to, be in a spotlight, quote unquote. They want to blow, they want to be the new biggest, the newest, hottest thing, and in doing that, how can they also be intentional about shadowing or walking in someone's shoes who has already done that so that they're successful at it?
Okay, so those are two
big ones. So
So how to seek out? Let me start with how to seek out mentorship. So I think the first step is to really know what you want. I said something about in the beginning about you want to live by design. You're trying to design an epic life, and that's why you want customized wisdom in a certain area. So you want to identify that area that you want to grow part-time, because when you're trying to grow in like 10 different areas of your life at once, sometimes it doesn't work and you just find that you are overwhelmed and then you get stuck. So identify part-time 2 to 3 areas that you're trying to grow. If it's in the area of career, if it's in the area of, personal development, if it's in the area of, just identify 2 areas that you're trying to grow part-time, because growth is always more beneficial when it is targeted. When it is targeted to a certain thing, this area, you achieve more that way. So I remember when I wanted to, when I decided to, be more deliberate and intentional about, designing the kind of life I wanted. I wanted a mentor in the area of business and in the area of career and business. So I found somebody in that regard. And I also wanted a mentor in the area of my passion, which is, speaking, coaching, and all of that. And then I identified the John Maxwell team and all of that. So me being able to streamline helped me a lot, because when people are when they get to that point where they are trying to grow, it's very easy to also get distracted, because you are now trying to attend all the conferences, trying to be on everybody's timeline, trying to, speak to this person to be your mentor, and at the end of the day, you're getting all confused. So streamline it. Don't try to address all areas of your life at once. Streamline it, and then begin to scrutinize and study people that you have identified that have gone ahead of you in that area. Begin to scrutinize from a distance, from afar, because yes, you want mentorship. But at the same time, you don't want to get into a mentorship relationship that you might regret at the end of the day, because you rushed into it and then you realize that this person
not a good fit.
Not a good fit, So you want to study from a safe distance first. This area of social media, when you can literally stalk people and
look at their patterns,
without moving so close. I think that's really a plus for us in this generation. So before you even put your first foot forward, you want to have done like a background, not like a background check, but it's like do your homework, because again, you cannot separate people's private lives from their public appearance. So you need to be sure that even your values align with that person.
Correct.
So in essence, what I'm trying to say is that you might want somebody's result, but you might not like
their approach.
Their approach to getting there. So it's not enough to want that result and say, oh, I just want the result. If by the time you get exposed to how they got and you feel, this is
not my value system.
So you also have to pay attention to what your values are. So there are people that tell you that, oh, they're self-made, they're this and that. And you don't want to, I don't know who is listening to this, but for me, when people just tell me, oh, I'm self-made, you don't need to be this, you don't need to be that, it just puts me up, and I'm like, I try
because you're a person of faith, and this is faith and purpose.
Person of faith, right? And one of my core values is spirituality. So
exactly,
if you want to take God out of the equation, I'm already like, okay. So you want to study from afar and be sure that your values align. And then after identifying a worthy mentor, you don't want to just go and ask, come and be my mentor. You want to show up around the person and add value.
Correct. Add value.
So that you are even drawn to that person, because you don't want to be like a pest. You want a mutually beneficial relationship, and you want to know that you are also a person of value. So if the person has books, you want to buy the person's books and review. If the person has courses, there's no point saying you want somebody to mentor you when you don't even have the person's materials.
Exactly.
The first place to start is to get their materials, because from their materials, trust me, you will get a lot about how where they are. So you want to start there, and then so by the time that you are making the ask, which you don't necessarily have to do, if you position yourself very well, it just comes naturally. Like
exactly.
They show up at their event, they're hosting an event, show up there and volunteer. A relationship just kicks off with spoken relationship kicks off, and that way it's better than when you are in the person's DM, please come and be my mentor.
My mentor, yeah. They're like, I don't even know you from.
I don't know you from anywhere. You've not added any value,
yeah.
you know. And you know, we spoke about my MBA
yes.
a while ago.
Yeah.
I just wanted to bring this very recent example. So when I identified that lady that I spoke with you about, that I'd done what I wanted to do, you know, I wanted to reach out to her on Instagram, and I felt reaching out to this, she doesn't know me from anywhere. What's the best way to reach out? And I saw that she was having an event. So I reposted that her event.
Nice, yeah.
And then by the time I sent her a message, she responded. You know, so imagine if I just sent a message.
That's strategy, yeah. And wisdom,
Who is this person? But because
I
added value.
You invested in her, what she was doing as well.
Yeah, so always put value first before you make that.
That's amazing.
So,
sorry, go ahead.
Other question about people, youth wanting to be in the spotlight as opposed to being shadowing and all of that. Yeah, so that's kind of like a tricky question, because mentorship doesn't mean that you are being in a mentorship relationship doesn't mean you should shy away from the spotlight. And again, it doesn't mean that the spotlight should be your focus.
That's deep.
So,
and that's a good answer.
I'm going to try to balance it. So while the spotlight is not the best place to make your errors, to make your mistakes, you want to make most of your mistakes in the background before you get to the spotlight. The truth of the matter is that you will still tend to make mistakes along the way.
And that's how
there's a sense in which, you know, our background and our culture, you know, tends to make us feel that we're not worthy to be in the spotlight. So I don't want us to push that away, because some people might feel, okay, I mean,
I don't need to be in the spotlight.
I don't want to be in the spotlight. No, you shouldn't shy away from the spotlight. As a matter of fact, as you are being mentored, you have to be putting what you're learning to work. You know, you have to be in the how do I put it? Yeah, you have to put what you're learning to work, and that could be stepping out even before you are ready. I remember that Will Smith. I was listening to it's the story of how Will Smith got into the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and it was an instantaneous. It was so spontaneous. He kept saying, "Oh, he was not ready. He had gone for a friend's party, and somebody just said, there's somebody I want to introduce you to. He wants you to perform in a particular role," and he's like, "Oh, I'm not ready. I don't want to be in the spotlight." And the guy said, by the time you go and prepare, you won't have the opportunity to meet this guy the best time. So he wasn't ready, and he was pushed to the spotlight, and just like that, he's got the role. And today, so imagine if he had said, "Oh, I'm still learning. I don't want to be in the spotlight," and all of that. So the point is, don't focus on the spotlight. But if you are being effective and you're growing and, you know, trying to beat the odds and break the status quo, the spotlight will find you.
Yeah, will find
you.
Spotlight
will find you. And when it finds you, don't shy away, because our generation, our background, like I said, tends to, you know, we tend to feel that it is humility to hide your gift.
Yeah.
Shy away. We think that it is synonymous with being humble, but no, you need to.
Even the scriptures say, "Let your light so shine,"
that
right?
Men may see your good works and all. And sometimes it's in stepping out that you even discover that, oh, it's in me. I could actually do this. But if you don't try, you won't realize that you could actually do that. So there's something we say in the John Maxwell team is jump and build your wings on the way down. So you have to jump. I mean, there will never be a time that you'll be ready to say, "Oh, I'm not ready to step into the spotlight." So you have to just jump and build your wings on the way down. And the story of Samuel and Eli in the Bible, you know, comes to mind right now. You know, when, you know, Eli was getting old and Samuel was hearing God's voice, Eli could have pushed him like down and said, "Who are you to be hearing God at your age? You are still young." But he encouraged him and said, "You know what, next time you hear that voice, say, 'Speak, Lord.'" You know, so you even need that kind of mentor that will push you into the spotlight. And you know, so we shouldn't shy away because we are in a mentorship relation. And you don't also want to be a clone of your mentor. You don't want to be a duplicate. You want to be your own while you are still learning and all of that. Yeah, so that
No, you answered that question perfectly, because to me, how I see mentorship is a time of preparation, because you will get to that time when you are in the spotlight. And when you get there, all the things you learned along the way from your mentors, from people who have gone before you, from people you've spoken to, have prepared you to function and be effective in that role. So that's right on, we're made, the scriptures say, let our light so shine before men. And by doing that, God wants us to be effective there. That's why he puts mentors our way. I remember the story of Esther in the Bible, right? She went through that preparation period for a year, so that when she became queen, she was so ready for that role. Like you talk about the birds, the eagles and birds, how they train their young, they put them in those situations where they're like, am I gonna fly? And then they build their wings and they fly. So no, that's amazing. This has been a great conversation, but we can't close without two key questions. How can people find you? I know I was gonna ask you the question, but let's see your answer to this one. Is mentorship for a season, a reason, or a lifetime? Some people say we have a 6-month mentorship relationship, a 1 month, 1 year mentorship. And the way I see it is just to get you those core skills, and then the mentor kind of lets you fly, and it's there to provide support. But is that your view on mentorship? Is it season, reason, lifetime?
Yeah, so you can definitely outgrow a mentorship relationship. Mentorship is not like till death do you part. Till death do us part. It's not like marriage. You can definitely get out of a mentorship relationship when you feel that, you have the purpose for that relationship has been achieved. You have been able to grow
that season.
But then don't burn bridges and destroy a relationship. You can still maintain cordial relationship with that mentor, and add value once in a while, check up on them and all that. But you know that you are definitely not really being mentored by that person. And then there are cases where a mentorship is structured. So there are people that organize programs, like very busy professionals and high flyers, because of their time and all of that. They just create like 3 months out of their lives and say, for these 3 months, register for mentorship. And after that 3 months, you might not really have that kind of access, which is fine if you're able to maximize that period. But there are really no rules. It's not cast in stone when it comes to it's just discretionary. It's discretionary.
Beautiful. Last question. How can we stay in touch with you? This has been such an inspiring session, just hearing you, the wealth of wisdom, and the kind of balance you bring, because I can see you come from a well-rounded place. So how can they stay in touch with you for more inspirational content, or for real estate, planning?
So I'm Mopelola Kola-lawal on LinkedIn, on Instagram, on Facebook, and then also my website is active, www.mopelola.com. Can definitely connect with me and download some free books on my website.
Amazing. This has been a total pleasure, Mope. Thanks for being on the show today. This is Faith and Purpose Podcast, Season 2, Episode 7. And until next time, God bless you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Mope.